What's up, everyone? It's Gabby Trades here, and welcome back to the channel. Well, we have one concerning factor that we need to look out for today, as markets didn't really do much yesterday. But before we jump in, you guys, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. If you're new here, you're most welcome. And make sure you click that small little bell on the side of the screen so you never miss when I come live here with you. So today, it is very clear what we're going to talk about. The one important news that we're all waiting for, and that's, could Powell, which is Jerome Powell, really spark a 15% market drop? So the first thing that I want to look here for today with you guys is news that we got, right, that even I wasn't aware of, which is a strategist that is warning that if Powell's speech at Jackson Hole this Friday, 22nd of August, isn't dovish enough, markets could actually face a 7 to 15% pullback this fall. Now, this is obviously stemming from one factor that we all are aware of, and that's that we have high valuations currently, and still the inflation is kind of sticky. Now, why is that? Well, obviously because we had the CPI, which was a very nice trigger for the markets. We had a little bit of better report on the CPI year over year, but then straight after that, we have the core PPI, which was very, very high, at percentages that we haven't seen quite in a while. So history suggests caution. Now, the interesting factor about this is that typically over here, if you look at this chart, typically the markets have been positive since 2009 more than not. So the S&P 500 is seeing a median over here of 0.8%, and with only 5 weekly declines over here beyond the 1%. Now, so having that in mind, analysts are cautioning that this year could be different and we might be diverging from history. So basically, looking at this chart, we're expecting that we should be on the positive, but we might be diverging from this charts this year, again due to high valuations and elevated uncertainty. So the thing that we need to look out for here is that, think of an investor perspective, right? Because we're not only traders, we're also investors. So if the Fed cuts rates with 25 basis points over here in September, right, which we because we saw yesterday that the market suggests that there is over 85% chance of doing that, Powell could still deliver a cautious tone. Now, investors are hoping for sustained easing, right? And they might be disappointed, and that could lead to a 5% drop. This is the more likely scenario that I'm looking out for. But, it is a very credible warning that we're looking at here. But I think 15% this fall, it is definitely something that we could avoid, right? It's not something that it's not inevitable. This is how I look at it. So most likely the markets will react more sensitively. That's exactly what I'm expecting than usual, right, this week. And that is again due to high valuation and uncertainty of what the Fed's tone is going to be, because essentially we can't know for a fact what he's going to say after seeing the CPI and PPI report that were diverging from each other to such a high extent, which you guys know very well is usually not the case, right? So viewers should really watch very, very carefully this week what Powell's exact words are and his tone, right? Very closely. And we have to be ready for both upside and surprise to the downside disappointments as well. But of course, we have the charts and we have the technical analysis that we can lean on as usual. So this is what we're going to look out for today. First of all, I want to say good morning to everyone in the chat. Yes, you guys, make sure to hit that like button. We have over 40 people today. I can't see the screen right now to find out how many views we have, but you guys check this out and let me know. We need to have at least 40 likes over here this morning. Good morning, Joe, Ivan Chu, Jesse is here, Larry, Jacek. Good morning, everyone. Gentine, of course, King Tony, Mark Bass is for once he made it. Good job. Good job. All right, cool. Doesn't matter, you guys. Anyway, even if you can't make it, you can always watch the recording. That's why YouTube is, available to us to have that. Alt Sezona, it's go, yes. Okay, so starting off with Bitcoin, as usual, yesterday we were waiting for for the markets to close to give us a little bit of a more understanding. We said we want to see more downside, which we did. So essentially, if I'm looking at the markets at a normal week, for me, this would be a bullish signal over here. Looking at the weekly, looking at the monthly, looking at the daily, it is all signaling to me at a 0.236. It should be a positive week. Now, considering the fact that we have the news that we do and the market reacting the way that it's reacting, and considering also the history that we just saw over here, right? It is very important to see that there is a massive red flag that we might see. Now, I don't really see the market dropping with 15% due to Jackson's Hole Symposium meeting this week. I don't think that that's going to be the case. But looking at my charts technically over here, I do expect right now to see some sort of a range. So if price is not as strong as it should be, we might indeed see a range over here. And if I open the sweep signals over here, I can see that for Bitcoin, we have just swept and we're just printing the 4-hour candle right now. So this is pretty much telling me that, yes, we might take a drop to this low over here, right? Clean that low as well. It is very possible to happen. So where is that? At 114,274. Or we might return this candle into bullish, the small little red candle over here, and then we might start printing some sort of a range over here within this price area. So that would be in between 1145 to 116K for Bitcoin, right? So this could be also unfolding right now, some sort of a range. And we know very well what happens when we form these kind of ranges, right? So let's say we form the range that we expect to form right now over here. We know that a manipulation to the downside is going to be quite necessary for us to continuously develop the bullish bias for after that. So that's what I'm seeing right now. In case of a massive drop here for Bitcoin, I honestly think that price should hold, especially if I'm looking here at this formation on a 4-hour time frame over here. It is clear to me that even if market drops down to 112, we might even find support over here. It's going to be hard, but it is possible, right? So I'm not looking for that, especially because Bitcoin is at a buy zone right now and everything is as well at a buy zone. So I'd rather keep this positive momentum here because I don't want to be missing out on anything. But of course, very huge caution required over here in such a high news environment, right, for Bitcoin. So otherwise, the technicals are suggesting that it should be fine. The technicals are suggesting that it should be fine. Yes, we could be in a range. We could be in a range with a potential to exit it to the downside before continuation up, but that I'm not seeing for the markets to start dropping immediately as of now on Bitcoin particularly, right? And we're gonna have a look at everything else as well. Ethereum. So Ethereum over here is giving us, right? So yesterday we said that it's very important that we don't get body close below this area over here. We didn't get the body close, you guys. We didn't get the body close. We did start today very bearish over here, right? We did start today with this candle over here, which is still developing. So that candle is yet to develop on the day. And yesterday we confirmed that this area is quite a resistant area because we said, and it's very important, I'm repeating it again, if we start getting today any body closes below this area down here, this is going to be very, very scary, right? Because that might suggest a deeper pullback for the altcoins that we would like, right? That's what it's going to suggest. But over here, the 4-hour time frame already on Ethereum has made up its mind because we've swept liquidity over here. We closed bullish. So now the market is suggesting that it wants to target 4,386.21 on Ethereum. However, once we get to that area, are we going to face another resistance and then drop down and then create the range that we're I am expecting to see at the very least? And over here, right, looking at this chart, it is also quite possible, right? We have these relatively equal lows over here. We need to be aware that that liquidity is quite evident, right? It is quite evident. But what else do we have over here? What else? Why have I marked this? This is, by the way, this green line is not really a daily support whatsoever, but it's in fact marking the area where we had a massive sell zone over here on ETH, and you guys know very well that that was a zone over here from which we sold, and then the buy breaker block was our support for the buy. So essentially that is now a breaker block over here, right? So I don't want to extend over here, so that's why I've marked it. So this is going to essentially mark another buy zone over here for us in case we start dropping, right? In case we start dropping. And of course, these are the areas that we need to look out for as a buy. As you can see, this area is quite substantial. Like, it's not very, very tiny. It's in fact a couple of hundreds here for Ethereum. Couple hundred points. But yes, it's very, very crucial that we don't get to that area, because that might suggest that even that we don't get with a body close to that area, right? Wicks are acceptable, but body closes are not going to be acceptable, because that is then going to tell me if we get a body close over here with this daily candle or tomorrow's daily candle, whatever, might suggest that this could be, just a bounce up to then continue down, right? So this is something that definitely I don't want to be preparing for as of now, to be fair, you guys, especially for ETH, because I would like to see ETH 5,000, and I think that it has a lot more work to do over here. But being at such extreme levels over here, right, and coming from an exact sell zone, you guys know very well that I'm short over here from the sell zone, and there was a confirmation technical as well to do that. Now, if that happens, it is also going to be, it's not going to be quite pretty, in my opinion. But let's not hope for the worst, let's hope for the best, because we know that we have good CPI reports and CPI tops PPI, right? So but yes, because of the PPI and CPI, there is quite a possibility that the Fed might come at us and be like, okay, we're not sure what we're gonna do, we're gonna wait for the last moment to make a decision. If that happens, then it's going to be not so pretty, right? So we need to be aware of all this, and everything that I do, I'm hedged right now. I'm actually long Ethereum and I'm short from the top, so but on a lower leverage, right? So I want to be cautious as well, and that's what I think everyone should be exercising caution right now. In terms of Solana, right? Solana, let's have a look here. Solana, right? So Solana over here, it's quite safe at the moment right now in this area. It does have all this space here to pull back quite nicely without causing any further troubles, right? So essentially right down here, we don't want to see any body closes below around 173.54. 173.54 is going to be the dangerous area over here for us, right around this area over here. So we don't want to see those body closes on a daily. So Solana is a little bit more safe at the moment for a pullback. Essentially, let's mark it down here, see how many potential percentages drop. Like, that could be, even 4 or 5% with a wick down here. It's going to be absolutely fine. And also we consider that we do have the buy zone down here, so these are all possibilities that this could happen. But again, I would like to maintain my bullish stance over here, especially expecting for this to be a wicked area, right? I'm not expecting like a very deep body closes, especially on a daily time frame over here. So that's important to note, you guys. Mark Bass, I'm sick of Sol. Yeah, everyone, mate, everyone is literally sick of Sol right now because Sol is taking really, really bad punches over here with the price. Good morning, Chiefy. Good morning, Chimdi Frank. And everyone that's new here, you guys are more welcome. And make sure you come down in the description box and like the video, right? Make sure you do that. Now, over here, ETH BTC. Let's have a look at ETH BTC. That's on a daily over here. So yeah, ETH BTC essentially, right? We're still looking. Let's delete all these things, all these old things that we don't need anymore. So ETH BTC, the buy zone is down here as well. So as you can see, ETH BTC could even drop to the buy zone as well. So 2, 3, 4, 5% ETH BTC, it's all going to be fine if that happens, because this is within the buy zone over here, especially trading below, you know, 2 liquidity zones over here that we need to see taken on ETH BTC. So essentially price needs to hold down here, right? Price needs to hold down here and then come up and take all of these liquidations over here. So ETH BTC is also on the safe side, in my opinion, for now, right? For now, because if we start like dropping and making body closes below the buy zone over here, that might suggest that we might see a little bit of further downside over here to the first support zone that's around 0.3188. Now that is us taking precautions right now, right? We're being cautious and we're threading very, very carefully in these waters. But overall, in my opinion, price should hold. Yes, we might see 5% drop, but price should be holding. And this drop, in my opinion, also, it was kind of generated to liquidate late longs. Do you see my point? Because this is what happens when you know, when everyone gets extremely bullish and stuff like that. You guys, I don't need to tell you, the fear and greed is now still at greed, and we've been playing in between extreme greed and greed for quite a while. So that is going to be a territory that's automatically going to try and liquidate any late longs, right? We need to be cautioned when the extreme greed starts playing around. As you can see, today we're at 56, and we've been in that area, in the greed area, since last month, right? Bring back the fear, Chiefy. Yes. So, you know, these things are quite normal, but I'm still maintaining my bullish stance for now, right? USDT dominance over here, the range is quite tight, but again, USDT dominance again is just right now in a sell zone. It's within a sell zone. Could it come up a little bit more potentially to tap into the 0.786 of our price range and then drop again? Absolutely possible. Will it be within a sell zone? Yes, it will. Right? Not only sell zone 0.786 as well. As you can see, price tapped into it and currently is trying to close below resistance over here. So all these things are important to watch out for. Everything is at zones right now, right? Everything is at zones, right? Let's see, total 3 over here, a little bit of a drop. The buy zone is down here as well. As you can see, completely possible, right? Completely possible for total 3 to drop over here 2, 3, 4, 5% if it wants to, right? Very, very possible. And here, this is one chart that we could read very, very easily with the help of my indicators. Again, you guys, I told you and I keep telling you, go purchase those indicators because they will give you the clues that nothing else will. Now over here on a total 3, we have liquidity on a monthly time frame, right? These formations on a monthly time frame, you don't get them that often. You really don't, right? You really don't get them that often. So as you can see, soon as you wipe that liquidity, price rejects immediately, right? Price rejects immediately, right? So as you can see, it's keeping strong. This is a perfect tap into the buy zone over here. As you can see, I haven't really marked it, but just for your education, I think it's very important to keep these things, you know, to keep these things for you down here, right? You didn't quite tap the zone, but still within this fair value gap, you are you are long, essentially, right? So extra confluence, because total 3 ETH BTC, these are not perfect areas to chart, but still very telling over here, right? Very telling. I'm gonna check right now on how many likes we have down here.
The crypto industry
with you guys
evolves.
And I know this is going to restart. 32 likes. We have 40 people watching. We can get at least 8 more likes, you guys. And of course, come into the description box, because that's how you can get access to our Discord over here. Make sure you come on Discord. And again, the trading indicators, also my trading strategy course waitlist, very important for you guys to sign, because you will get discount on the course over here. Highly recommend for you to do that. And of course, bluffing, you can get 100% refund on losses if you're trading under my link over here. $100 refund on any losses, especially right now. That is a huge bargain if you ask me. And I think I have the picture over somewhere here. I put it. This is the promotion that we have. Again, under the description box over here, you can find that link, and with that link you can get access to the VIP area in my Discord. So this is something that you know, I highly recommend you do, guys, over here. Now I wanted to quickly look at Anna over here, right? We're looking at Anna. So right now, Anna is quite within a drop, right? And a 4-hour time frame is showing that there might be still a little bit of downside to this price action over here. So let's say if we see downside here on Anna, first buy zone that I see over here is starting exactly where the current target is. If you can see the current target, I don't know if you can, over here at sorry, 0.6104 over here. That's for Anna. And just below it we have a buy zone over here on a daily time frame. So yeah, let's see how much that would be if we get a drop like that. Well, that'll be around 6%. So it all kind of lines up over here, right? ADA, same thing. Quite an expansion over here for ADA within a massive sell zone. This is what we were looking out for, right? Massive sell zone over here. So price reacting from it inevitably, right? But nicely over here, we have left a little bit of a buy zone right over here. So this is what we need to be looking out for, right? This range is going to come back down and test the buy zone, or it is just going to continue where it's supposed to continue, because as we know, we have liquidity over here on on a higher time frame, right? This area over here might be targeted on ENA, right? Very clear high over here for me to be for ADA to be targeting. XRP, let's have a look at XRP. But again, you guys, same thing, prices within a buy zone. It was coming from a sell zone, so essentially sell setup, buy setup over here. It's pretty much everything is in between levels, and you have to be picking a side very much, you know. Mura, good morning everyone. H bar over here is something that I don't like to look at because you guys know that I missed my long here by like literally a hair. But actually, let's delete that because it's annoying me. Anyway, so over here, as you can see, H bar, again, the liquidity was taken on a high time frame over here. So price dropped from here, right? And by drop, I mean it's currently ranging right now. So it is very, very possible that for this as well, we're going to see maybe another tap into the 0.5, right? Another tap into the 0.5. That could be 6-7% down here. Drop to the 0.5, absolutely possible to then bounce back nicely from the 0.5. And if that happens, it's going to be very, very beautiful, because H bar will then sort of technically give us the idea that, okay, I'm holding the 0.5, I want to exit you know, above 0.4 levels over here, right? So that would be quite nice. But again, these are levels that potentially, you know, we might not see again, right? So anywhere around 0.236 on a chart in a range, anywhere where you're super bullish around the 0.5, these areas are going to be these areas are going to be extremely important for us to pay close attention to, especially within a bullish bias, right? Within a bullish bias over here. And if that doesn't happen, if everything goes to hell, of course, the indicators are telling us on a daily time frame that we have support over here at levels that we haven't seen since beginning of July, but they are here for us in case things get really, really south, which are 0.175 here. If that happens, right? Again, huge opportunities over here if that happens. So I don't want to be feeling scared right now. For me, there is nothing to be scared from right now. These are all opportunities for us to re-enter at nicer levels if we get that opportunity, right? Because price might just manipulate us right now and completely explode. Because if you see, so there is this thing, right? There is this thing. If everyone on Twitter is starting to get really, really bearish, right? The CT is extremely bearish. Everyone is really scared. You guys, honestly, this is going to be your signal that you might be looking to enter in the opposite position, right? Because the retail sentiment, it should be also a confluence for us, right? For me, the retail sentiment is definitely a confluence and I want to be against it. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Hype, what is there to look for? Hype was performing quite nicely over here. Okay, maybe not so great right now, as this liquidation is down here, very clear for me. So let's have a look. That's on a daily time frame, so not very cool, so I'll probably stay away from it. So that's one scary 15% out here that could potentially develop over here, right? Especially the size of this range that's forming right now. It is quite possible that this range could be it could be a little bit bigger. Clearly bullish chart over here, clearly bullish chart. So again, in a bullish chart right now, the most ideal thing as a trader that you can do when the chart is so bullish is what? Well, of course, position yourself at the lower side of the range, whatever that is. So on a daily time frame, it's not looking very hot. 12 hour, not looking hot. Not looking hot in general right now. Not looking so hot. 4 hour is also giving a target down here. So potentially you might find some support if you do. Down here in this area is also possible. Like it's just very difficult for me to take a decision on a chart with a lower liquidity on a daily time frame like that. I'd probably be a little bit cautious on this. 1 hour time frame still giving liquidations low over here. But if you look at on the lower time frame, if you look at the lower time frame, essentially you didn't have any body closes below this area, right? You didn't really get a body close below this low over here, right? So you're trying to hold right now for dear life, but it's going to be a bit difficult in my opinion over here. If it happens, happy days, it might, right? If the whole market runs, this thing could run as well from over here, but for now it's looking very tricky. This is probably one chart I'd happily stay away from. You guys, hello Captain JJ. I opened a long BTC to play the Monday range. Yeah, I mean, Monday range is it's real right now, and it's one of those days, right, where we have a bearish Monday candle over here. So this is just another reason for me to maintain the bullish bias, but I do have to be aware that there is potential for Monday low to be taken for sure, right? There is a potential for that over here. Freedom, I've taken 7 longs right now. I really hope for a bounce. Freedom, I hope for a bounce as well. I'm also long, but I'm also hedge short, so I'm actually not I'm actually not stressed out as well, because I'm currently like quite well positioned in both directions. I'm not really losing any money at the moment. In fact, I'm probably on the green already over here with Ethereum. But yeah, the situation is a little bit touch and go right now. But what's important is for us to look at ETH and to find how ETH is reacting, right? Because ETH is stronger than Bitcoin at the moment. So I would be paying close attention to what Ethereum is doing, and Ethereum is trying to find very strong support down here. And that's important, right? That's important, because if we start getting body closes over here, even if we get upside, I'll be like definitely looking for further shorts over here. Or that will be a massive manipulation that I haven't seen in a very long time. If we get a body close over here and then we proceed to make a higher high over here, it's going to be something that I haven't seen in a very, very long time for me. Check out NPC. All right, we can do that. We can do that over here. I hope it's not some like terrible chart. Not so bad, I guess. Let's have a look here on the weekly. Yeah, that's actually not a bad chart at all. Over here from 24th, we made a low over here, but we didn't really create so we're gonna go and mark our areas over here. So as you can see, this actually has a potential to go to 0.0534 over here. There is definitely a potential for that to unfold. I don't see anything else on the weekly. Nothing on a daily besides potential range formation at the moment. Price is pretty much at a buy zone right now as well. So this could technically mean that price could it could hold around here. 12 hourly, let's have a look. Oh, the 12 hourly is looking really nice over here. See, that's probably one chart that was going to give me a little bit of anxiety, because I quite like the 12-hour, and this double liquidity down here would have probably spooked me. I wouldn't have entered long in this area. I wouldn't have done that. So I would have probably hoped over here for this low to be taken before taking any positions on NPC over here. But anyway, regardless, right, the way you can play that is after the you know, the break here of the 0.236, quite a confirmation over here, if you ask me. You've taken liquidity down here, bounced from it a little bit, right? You take that liquidity, you bounce, and then you create a higher high. So that is all quite strong. On a daily time frame, you are potentially facing some downside over here, but again, liquidity at 0.07 is pretty much telling you that as soon as price breaks 0.5, it's probably going to retest, and it's going to try and find the 0.07 price on MPC over here. But let's have a look real quick. What could the potential downside for this be? First weekly time frame, right? You know what? I prefer this candle to sort of reverse right now over here, because if it doesn't, it's going to be yeah, I'm not going to be very positive on this, right? And then I'll be looking at areas potentially like down here. Right, if this happens, right? So it could be quite nasty actually. If we close bearish this week, it could be quite nasty. So I'm still, honestly, for the sake of the altcoins, this week needs to close bullish, right? We need to close bullish this week, whatever happens, because that's not going to be very, very nice at all if that happens. But yeah, it's pretty much not looking too hot right now. So yeah, daily, you are potentially in a buy zone, but again, tread carefully with this one. What is happening with my voice? It formed double bottom on the weekly though. Which one? Where is the double bottom here on the weekly? Am I blind? I'm not seeing it. But anyways, you guys, so this is for today, right? We still need to watch Ethereum. Just remember, that is the important bit right now. Ethereum on a daily time frame today needs to reverse, okay? Today needs to reverse, and this week needs to stay a week, and we shouldn't get any body closes below that, right? Do you only trade high time frame? No, I don't trade only high time frame. I trade also low time frame within sessions if I have time. But you know, with all the streams that I do currently, I do 6 streams per week, so that's quite a challenge over here to find a time to come on the sessions, right? Because I'm live always. You guys, yes, make sure you leave a comment below the video as well. That's going to be very helpful for us to reach out more people down here. And I wish you all, you know, a great day. And I'll see you guys on Discord, right? You know where to find the link for Discord, always in the description box. I shall see you guys in the next one.